The female is possibly one of the most interesting characters in The Boys to me. In our comment section, we've seen countless requests for more information on her, and I'm happy to deliver. But keep in mind there's a ton of history for most of these characters in the comics. Additionally, this video isn't going to cover everything the female ever does in the comics, but only the elements that are key to understanding her character and the big story beats that she's involved in. Now, come on, this is YouTube, so before we begin, we are going to be giving away a few copies of The Boys Volume 1, and it's pretty simple to win. All you gotta do is standard YouTube crap. Subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment below telling us which member of The Boys is your favorite and why, or pretty much anything Boys related will do. It's interesting in the show that they give this character the name Kimiko. In the comic books, she never actually has a name, she's just referred to as the female of the species. The female of the species' first appearance is in The Boys issue number 2. Her origins are told in issue 38 of the series during a particular block where the Boys members tell Huey about their lives in order to influence him to stay in the group. The female's family was from the area around Hiroshima. Her mother worked at a Japanese company that's roughly the equivalent of Vought. The female's mother was an extremely negligent and self-absorbed person. She brought her own daughter to work at this company every day rather than pay for daycare, and she just kept her in a basket underneath of her desk. One day, the little girl crawled out of her basket, and she crawled down the hallway. She stumbled upon a vat of discarded, unstable Compound V that scientists within this company were working on. The company was attempting to replicate the Compound V formula in order to catch up to the Americans. The female ended up crawling into a vat of this, and it appears like she eats a good portion of it, but I'm not 100% sure. She might have just been exposed to it, but it kind of makes it look like she eats a lot. And from there, she gained superhuman speed, strength, durability, and agility. But there's a lot more to her story. See, the female ends up being captured by this company, and she's forced to live in a cage, occasionally being experimented on for the purposes of unlocking what exactly made her gain the powers, something that this company had not been able to do in other subjects. But a life of being in constant fear and torture has taken its toll on her. She would often find ways to escape, and when she did, her gut reaction was to kill anybody who got in her way, oftentimes in some of the most violent and brutal ways possible. However, she's always recaptured by this company over and over again until finally one time when she breaks out, she disappears into the sewers. She takes out an entire team of elite soldiers coming after her, but is gassed in the process. When she wakes up, she's in the custody of the Boys. Eventually, over time, she learns how to communicate, and it's implied in the show that she has no tongue or that she's mute, but in the books, she is able to speak and communicate in her own ways. The lack of development while growing up, though, has led to some almost autistic-like qualities manifesting in the female, like a lack of speech and the fact that she does not like being touched. The female has an innate bloodlust inside of her that's almost unquenchable. She actually likes to kill, and when she's not working for the Boys to kill superpowered people, she often takes jobs for the Mafia that allows her to kill at will. She's working on this urge with Frenchie, but she often gives in and takes missions anyway. The female is widely considered to be the muscle in the group, and she's certainly the strongest and most vicious. For the majority of the series, she has no real character arc or role. She simply attends missions and kills people when needed. For example, during Huey's first true mission against the Teenage Kicks, she shows up with Frenchie out of the blue and easily defeats a number of heroes. Later in the series, Super Team Mavericks are hired to take out the Boys by Vought, and in one swipe of her fingers, the female manages to cut off the entire face of the only female member of the Team Mavericks. One other element that we haven't really seen in the show but is very present in the comics is that she's able to use her nails like knives. She's also the hardest to control. She hates being touched, and she hates being talked to by anybody who is not in the group. Breaking those rules can get you killed, even if you didn't know that they were rules in the first place. She frequently harms Huey pretty badly just because he tries to talk to her. The most significant story beat that she has in the comics is about halfway through the series. The female's working a job for the mob when she's confronted by the number 2 hero in the world, and the leader of supergroup Payback, the Nazi Superman, Stormfront. The female shows up to the site that the mob sends her to in order for a hit, but instead of finding her target, she finds Stormfront. Clearly set up to die by Vought, she manages to fight and rip out one of Stormfront's eyes before he beats her into a coma. And I can't stress enough how significant of an action this is, considering Stormfront is widely considered to be the second strongest superhero in the world. His DNA was actually used as the building blocks for Homelander. Again, Stormfront beats her into a coma while screaming profanities in German and racial slurs at the female, but it turns out Payback was actually hired to come in and find the boys and take them out. The female was just the first one they came across. This attack on the female has a tremendous impact on Butcher, and he orders the rest of the boys to get the female to safety, and then he single-handedly stalks and kills every member of Payback. Stormfront does, however, manage to escape, but is later met with the entire boys team who kills him by stomping him to death. Ultimately, much later in the series, after the death of Homelander, Butcher puts his superhero final solution into motion. We find out that Butcher had created a biological weapon designed to kill anybody exposed to Compound V. This would not only kill just superheroes, but anybody who's ever had any type of Compound V interaction, probably millions and millions of people. When the rest of the boys decide that this is going too far, they ultimately decide to stop him. But they prove no match for Butcher. Frenchie and the female specifically are both killed by a house bomb when Butcher blows up their safe house with them in it. And that is about where the female's story ends. We don't really have any more information about her, but I anticipate that she's going to be one of the more popular characters in The Boys due to the fact that she's very mysterious by nature. I definitely think the show is at a unique place because it offers the opportunity to build on this character in an interesting way that the comics never really seem to get around to. And that is about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are interested in learning more about The Boys, please remember to like and subscribe and all that other YouTube crap. Don't forget to comment and all that other junk to be entered into our giveaway. Thank you guys for watching this video, and remember the motto, The Boys over everything.